verify if you're seeing that on your screen.
Yes, got it.
Are we good?
Yes.
All right. Well, guys, first of all, thanks for, coming together and having some conversation. I've been looking forward to it. Hopefully it'll be good, thoughtful conversation. And I just want to start out with a short introduction. We can get right into it. I don't really have a lot of notes. I thought we'd do this impromptu, whatever we feel like. I do have some questions from people that wanted to ask Fred some questions and the rest of us. Let's start with Fred Caudron. Fred Caudron is considered by many to be the best player in the world, irrespective of tour affiliation. In 2019, the PBA was born, and Fred decided to join and has never looked back. He is ranked #1 on tour of the PBA. He just won the Welcome Savings Bank tournament, his 3rd in a row. We'll do Mason Shuney if he shows up. Ricky Karanko is the West Coast powerhouse for promoting tournaments. He is also considered one of the best tournament directors in the country. He was also on the board of directors of the USBA. His latest project is a tournament at $1 Million Billiards in LA, March 17th through the 20th, right before the World Cup in Las Vegas. He is also a strong player and won the Casino de Sol this January. Gilbert Najim is our ambassador of billiards. He plays a great game, very competitive, and is very knowledgeable, and is requested as a commentator for a lot of tournaments. He was also on the board of directors of the USBA. I'm sure he will be competing at the $1 Million Billiard Tournament. You can tell me if that's correct or not.
Yes.
And the World Cup in Vegas. I don't know.
No World Cup.
Okay, all right. And then there's me. Steve Andersen is the senior citizen of the group. He was on the board of directors of the USBA. He interviewed many of the top players during his tenure. He was a US distributor of Verhoeven tables. He is retired, but still loves to play with friends and is very fortunate to know these gentlemen I'm speaking with right now. So let's enjoy the conversation. And where would you like to begin?
Maybe check your questions first on the paper.
Well, yeah, I have some questions for people that have wrote in. And we can get to those right now. There's not many, so I was hoping we'd have an open format. And I do want to get your thoughts, Frederic, regarding the transition. You've been through a lot of changes in the last 3 years. How long you just got married not too long ago, correct?
3 years, 2.5 years ago, yes.
Yeah, so a new tour, a new wife. I mean, so we want to hear some of that you can share with us. Here's a question. That is an interesting question from a Douglas. What is the funniest or weirdest thing that happened during a tournament? So if you can think of like something bizarre, all of us maybe can.
Yes, there is, but this is some years ago, long time ago, and it's not about, that's the first time it's coming in my mind now. I played the Belgian championship balk line 47-1. So it means, you know, balk line 1 point maximum in each square. I played together with Eddie Leppens, the last game, final game. And I have kind of big run. I'm running 100 and something, and I still have, I think, maybe 50 points to make. And I remember there is one situation, the referee has to say the balls are inside or not. So takes a little bit break, interruption, check both sides of the balls. And okay, I have the ball in a line, white ball, yellow ball, red ball in the middle. Actually, I play white ball, but because of the discussion and the position is the same from both sides, I switched the ball. I continue my run with the wrong ball, which was very funny because nobody noticed. Not me, of course. The referee didn't notice. My opponent didn't notice. And I continued the run till I still had to make 15. And at the time, Eddie Leppens noticed that I was shooting with the wrong ball. So he was a little bit kind of ashamed because he didn't know what to do, but I could see there was something happening. And at the moment, but we are close friends, so it's not a really big problem. He told me, you're playing with the wrong ball. And I checked, and the scoreboard, I said to myself, my God, what is this? What happened? Yeah, it's probably from already some time because I just noticed, but you are shooting. So, so it was very weird and very funny. Let's say funny, it's a Belgian championship, but at the end, we had a lot of fun with this situation.
Absolutely. Well, and of course, the rules, you get all those points. I mean, you didn't know, the official didn't know,
Nobody, I think public, nobody, only Eddie at the end, he noticed. And so, of course, I didn't continue. I go to my chair. Finally, I won the game, so nothing happened. Was very funny. We still can laugh about it now. It's maybe 20 years ago.
That's great. How about?
But I had a lot of funny situation in my life. Of course, you can imagine I'm running over all the world in the last at least 30 years. So I don't get any situation no exactly in my mind, but thinking a little bit, I can write a book probably.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that was another question that someone brought up. I don't have a name, but you're wondering if you are going to, if you're considering to write a book. To my knowledge, you have not written one. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have one book which is about billiards, not about my biography, but I'm not planning to write a book at the moment. No, not exactly, no. But I have a lot, of course, you know, when we are meeting with friends and, for example, Eddie Leppens or whatever other players, because I know all the Belgian players. I know for the top player like Merckx, Fortom, Philippon, Peter de Backer, Peter Kullemans is a little bit younger, but still we can, when we meet all together, we can talk about the past and the situation we made and tournament we played all together for 30 years ago, and we have a lot of fun. And all together, maybe we make an encyclopedia, not like a small book. So it should be very funny.
How about Ricky or Gilbert? Any cool stories or fun stories you can share?
Well, Ricky has a lot of stories too, so.
Okay, Ricky, don't be shy.
It's probably not the right forum to share them.
Oh, yes, and not family friendly. Is that what you're?
There you go. That is what it is. I don't want to name names, but there was the funniest one that I saw is one of the top players in Los Angeles a while ago. He was about to shoot with the wrong ball, and I think he shot with the wrong ball. And then another player, I can name him. It was John Lee. I don't know if you remember this, Gilbert.
Yeah, of course.
John Lee told him, "Hey, you're playing with the wrong ball. You shot the wrong ball." So they're like, "Okay." You know, he sat down. John Lee comes to the table, and he shoots with the wrong ball too. So then the other player is like, "Hey, you just shot with the wrong ball." He's like, "Oh yeah, my mistake. And then the top player, probably the best player here in Los Angeles at the time, goes to the table, and he doesn't like the shot that John Lee left him. So he's like, no, before you shot, the balls were like this. And he sets up the balls the way the balls were set up before, the way he liked the shot. I'm like, how can you do that? You're a top player. You know you cannot do that. You cannot set up the balls to your liking. He's like, yeah, no, but before he shot, I had an easy shot. Now that he shot with the wrong ball, it's very difficult for me. So I like the other shot.
Well,
do you remember that, Gilbert?
Yeah, I remember.
anything out of you, Gilbert? Something come up that's funny?
Well, one of the funniest was at the 8 Ball in Maywood, Los Angeles. We had a tournament, and I was playing somebody, and I was shooting the wrong ball. He told me it's a wrong ball. So I go shoot the right ball. I run 10 and out on him. And he started cussing, and like it was a funny moment. But I mean, you know, sometimes things happened, and it happened to the good person, but many times that bad situation happened to us too. You know, we tell a wrong ball. We play with no referee here in LA too, so it's not like we have a referees, you know. So we have to deal with all the heat at the table.
Well, I had one, I don't know how funny it was. Matter of fact, it was quite stressful for me. Matter of fact, Gilbert, you were at the tournament, tournaments we ran at the Carom Club. And so, of course, everybody sent in their entry fee. And of course, I put it in the bank, and, you know, so all the cash was there. And all of a sudden, the bank would not release the money. And the tournament was 3/4 done, and I was besides myself. You know, I was contacting the bank, you know, it seemed like every hour, and they were not gonna release the money. Fortunately, at the last minute they did, but oh gosh, you talk about stressful. I can't imagine the people that would have been upset with me and with no money there. But that wasn't a funny story, but one I'll certainly never forget. And so, yeah, so those are good answers. So let's see, what else do we got? Here's one, kind of a mechanical, mechanical equipment kind of question. The question is from Need Guidance. I guess he didn't want to leave his name. So, what hardness tip do you prefer? Do you think softer tips work better with the carbon fiber shafts? And what is the weight of your cue? A lot of players like to, you know, find out what the best players use. And so that's his question.
So I can tell you the story about the carbon shaft and this kind of equipment. I think everybody must choose for himself what he likes, because I'm still playing with a wooden shaft, one piece, not laminated, from Longoni, you know, probably. They make special shaft like the old style Pro 4, they call it. No, it's the FC4. They make shaft with my name, which is only one piece of wood. And I play with very heavy shaft. It's about at least 135 grams. And even I have a very good shaft from 143 grams, which is kind of heavy. And the reason why for me, it's that when you have the weight in front of the cue, the balance going in front, you don't feel the weight. So if you hold the cue, I stand up. You hold the cue in the back just with one hand, you don't feel the weight because it's falling in front. If you have the weight in the back, it will feel heavy. So when I show my cue to somebody and they have to estimate the weight of the cue, they say it's very light. I say, no, it's just total 500, almost 50 grams altogether with the grip, but you can't feel the weight because it's in the front. So I like the balance That's my opinion. I play with just a medium hard tip, nothing special. About the carbon story and everything, I don't like the carbon, but I'm not criticizing. It's just my opinion. I tried carbon also, but it's the touch of the second ball is different. I could get used to carbon, of course, if I start now and I lose a few months of my life practicing with the carbon, I will get used to it. Many people change quickly to carbon or carbon fiber because there are different types, and they are very successful with this. They like it so much, and very nice. If they like, please continue. Don't worry for me, and or just enjoy. Everybody has to make his own choice, but it's not at the moment. I didn't try the carbon shaft, which make me feel comfortable at this moment.
Yeah, I noticed Jeremy Burry seemed to be one of the first ones on tour that was using that kind of shaft, and now you see, you know, I don't know what percentage, 25-30% of the players, just to throw out a number, is using that carbon fiber. So do either one of you play with a carbon fiber, Ricky or Gilbert?
Yeah, we play. Yes, we started playing with carbon fiber like 6 months ago.
Okay.
Myself, yeah.
So you're playing with it now and you like that?
I mean, I like the carbon fiber, but remember that I don't compete professionally every week like Frederic, and getting used to a new shaft, it's gonna bring your game down. Frederic has a besides his small game and the ball climb and the one cushion, so he's been using the wood shaft for too long, and he has the beautiful touch and the feeling of the shaft. You know, carbon fiber doesn't have a lot of feeling. It's more like power, in my opinion. Again,
Yeah.
but he's more like a finesse player, and he likes he's a field player. So that's my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a question. Question from Scott. Frederic, do you have two homes, one in South Korea and one in Europe? And obviously, I'd imagine the way the tour goes and when you have tournaments, you're going to be in South Korea X amount of time or back in Belgium, perhaps. How does that whole work, and help us with that?
Yes, the season in the PBA is starting somewhere in June and finishing in March. So now the last tournaments are we are playing team league now, final post season they call it, and after the PBA World Championship, and at the end of the month we can go home because we have been here 5 months now in a row. And we have been also before 2 months in a row. So we are just renting apartment here on a year basis. So we are all year, we have apartment here ready for us. Of course, the big problem now is still the COVID and the travel problems. Because when you enter Korea, no, it seems it's canceled. The quarantine is canceled. There is no quarantine anymore if you can make the proof of the vaccine. But before this, we had the quarantine every time we came here for 14 days in a hotel. So I will tell you because I would like to just to speak a little bit about it, about the quarantine, because many people have been one time in quarantine. They have been complaining a lot. This is jail. This is no life. Blah 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 blah. Of course, this is not nice to be in quarantine, but compared to jail or to things like this is very, very stupid because I make total 6 quarantines of 14 days and 1 quarantine of 7 days. You can imagine it's a very long time, but it is my choice. If I know I have to do that, I don't complain or I stay home. This is an easy choice. I mean, you can do it, and if you know, oh no, for example, you know, also there has been a UMB tournament here in July, invitation tournament, and some players like Martin Horn, to name him, he said, so no, for me, no, I don't go because I cannot handle this quarantine. 14 days in hotel is nothing for me. And he stayed home, very clear. It's very easy. You say yes or you say no. You know, you have to be in 14 days in a hotel. You know what is coming. You don't have to complain. So afterwards to say, it's very hard. You are not a baby, please. Just be normal and do it or don't do it. You do it, you don't complain. It's very easy. It's an easy choice in your life. Nobody obliged you. Nobody obliged me to come here to make a quarantine every day. So just to say a little word about it. So this is the travel problems when you come here to a tournament and you know you have 14 days quarantine. This is very long to play a 7 days tournament. So this is why also we have to stay so long in Korea and we don't go home. Now it seems they cancel the quarantine, so it will be more easy when you have 2 weeks or 3 weeks between tournaments sometimes, or 1 month, you can go home. It feels a little bit better. Not that we are okay, we are comfortable here in Korea, but you can imagine if you go away in a foreign country, and I'm not talking especially about Korea, but go wherever you are not used about the language is hopeless, impossible, very difficult to learn. Even you learn words you cannot speak. The culture is different, people are different. Food, I don't tell you, if you don't like everything, it's very difficult here. But at the end, we are happy to be here because it's a choice. And, you know, I make good money. I'm 54 years old. It's also, I don't know how long I will play this level. I still like it. I'm still practicing a lot to be here, to try to be the best every time in each tournament. And but you know, I want to also to think about my retirement. And that's it. Long story. Sorry.
No, that really prompts a question, and I talked to you about it when we were doing a test for this, and you know, how do you see 5 years down the road? Or maybe another question would be, you know, at some point as one gets older, you know, some of those skills kind of wane. There's exceptions to the rule, but they start to wane a little bit. So what you know, what do you think your 5-year plan is, and things like that? Looking at the future, I guess, is what I'm asking. If that makes sense.
First, I would like to tell you that, you know, the game is so difficult anyway. You never know everything. So some days you go to the table and you think, what am I doing today? I don't know. You see every shot so difficult. You don't feel anything. You think, oh, my cue seems like it's half of the weight. You don't feel anything, and you have to handle sometimes situation. I want to tell you just because of my age, I know most of the best players in the world are from my age, and they are still the best of the world. But I think now the strength of our age is just the mental part. We are just we know how to handle a difficult situation. But I can tell you, in the game, when you are young, you shoot, you don't think, you are not afraid about anything. And every easy shot you think, oh, this one I can make with my eyes closed. And if you give me the same shots today, if I'm not very careful, I will miss more than normal, because no, you're just thinking what can happen. You have experience, you know that you can miss every even single easy shot, because why? You can have you know, sometimes you think, oh, the ball reaction, oh, this could happen, bad contact, or maybe the table getting short. You think so much that you are missing, or you are afraid of easy shots even. So no, I'm for sure not better. I know more than before, much more than before, and I'm mentally, I can say from myself, rather good, so I can handle many also stressy situations. But what about the body and the feeling? It's not much better than before. It's just the same. But I can handle better the difficult situation anyway.
And how about your legacy? What do you want to, I mean, what would people want to think? How would you want people to think of you as your legacy, as you know, a pressure player, the consistent player? You play a very fast game. You compute quicker than many other players. I mean, what are the things that you'd kind of like to go down?
You know, my opinion, since I started play billiard, my image is more important than my game. From my point of view, I really don't like that people can say or will say about me, oh, he's a boring guy, he's not a nice guy, he's not smiling. This is very important. I'm very sensitive also. That's why, of course, Facebook is a dangerous weapon, because you see a lot of criticizing, a lot of bad comments. Also, I get some messages sometimes that you cannot imagine. And so I don't know sometimes if I do something wrong or not. I'm just going my way. I don't damage anybody. It's my philosophy. I don't want, I choose, of course, I choose for myself first. Myself, my family, my wife, my mother. And if I have to make a choice, it will be always the choice. So, of course, I like, they tell me, oh, you play so good, I like your style, blah, blah, blah. It's very nice, but I prefer they tell me after, oh, he was a very nice, very open-minded, very easy to reach, make a picture, make a sign, never complaining or never criticizing anybody. But I just want to say, I know I had a lot of conflicts lately, not because of due to PBA, let's say, but I never criticized anybody openly, except to answer people. So I learned during my life, you have always to talk to people on the same tone that they talk to you. So people who talk to me nicely, I will always answer nicely. If they attack me, I answer. This is like, you know, sometimes they tell me you are childish. No, I'm not childish. If you attack me, and after we have a discussion, I will tell you, but you started. Of course, he started. I never start discussion like this.
Yeah.
But if they attack me, I answer. That's the point. And even answering, I never insulted anybody. Never. If you find something from me, you can show me and tell me. But I never did. So that's my philosophy. I want to be happy, make people happy. And if they are not happy with me, because I make a different choice, we talk about PBE actually, then what can I do? And you cannot be loved or liked by everybody. And this I understand also. And I have been very sensitive to this situation in the beginning. But I am thinking always, what did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong to somebody? I don't believe it, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Frederic,
Happily.
do you mind asking a few questions, please, on the topic? I know as a viewer and as a fan, I've been watching billiard for a long time, and I've known you for a long time. And I think it was a good choice to play the PBA, especially during COVID period time. So many people stayed home, and some of them, they played tournament on the camera, and other people competed. So, and you paid the price. You took quarantine for 2 weeks. You did sacrifices to be there. It wasn't easy tournament for you, especially the format, the 15 points, the bank shot, the 2 points. Now, my question is, does it bother you as, again, in my opinion, one of the perfect billiard players as far as disciplines? We're talking 3 game, 1 cushion, 3 cushion, as a full package. Doesn't bother you, you don't play talking like a Belgium championship anymore? Try to, because you've been winning a lot of tournaments, you've been, you have a lot of titles, and playing the PBA has a different perspective, I understand. But doesn't bother you, like, don't compete anymore in the Belgium championship, and how you can, how you see it?
Yeah, this is a very long story, of course, because you know, I have been suspended by the UMB. Okay, I can understand. At the time, I was not very happy, because if they suspend me, they can suspend many players who play tournaments. There are some rules at the UMB, and not all rules are respected. And UMB is handling this. Sometimes they close their eyes when players play tournaments who are not recognized or whatever. I don't care. I want everybody to play his tournaments and be happy and make good money. About the Belgian Championship, of course, I miss many things. I miss the teams in Europe. Is very nice always. It's a different style than Korea, but it's very familiar. You meet the same people every week. You practice together. You eat together. It's a kind of family. I miss Holland, Belgium, Germany league, French, everything. I played also in Spain and in Portugal some games. This is so nice to be all together in a team. Okay, I could still play team. I could play even suspended. It was possible to play teams. But at the time, you know, the Belgian Federation didn't suspend me. They just kept a little bit, so we don't suspend you. You do whatever. They have the right not to suspend me. And they said always since the beginning, oh yes, we support you, we support you. There is a big difference between not suspend and support, because in the time I was suspended, if they want to support me, they have to fight against the suspension. They never did. So also about the first Belgian Championship, I didn't play in 2020. I was not suspended, so I had the right to play. But the UMB put a lot of pressure on the national federation that said if there is a suspended player playing in the championship, all other players will not receive any points for the world ranking. They call it, they said, if the tournament is infected, I read this one somewhere, infected, they mean by a PBA player, then the other players will not receive any points. It means if I play in Belgium and eventually I win on my second or third, and I beat Eddie Max, for example, he will not receive any points for the world ranking.
Too bad.
So you can imagine, so the Belgian Federation told me, yeah, you can choose, you can play, no problem. And after a few weeks, they told me, maybe better you don't play. Please, can you not play? It's possible you stay home. And of course, I had to stay home. I don't understand why they put me in the choice instead of fighting against UMB. So that's why I said they write everywhere. They send me a message. Oh, we support you. You are our friend. We support you all the time. But they do nothing about this. So it means that I from end of 2020, I didn't renew my membership at the Belgian Federation. So I'm not a member of any federation, national or whatever. And still, you can imagine, I still receive a letter of suspension from UMB and CAB, even I'm not a member.
I've seen them.
So imagine they send a letter, I'm just taking an example, to Rafael Nadal and tell him, oh, you are suspended from the UMB. He's not a member of any billiard federation, and they suspend him. I think this is very unprofessional and very stupid. And still they keep my name on the world ranking with a real gray line to show, oh, this one is suspended, you know. This is very funny.
Yeah.
No, but people who know, like just not to have a comparison, but congratulations on the last 3 tournaments. And it's not to talk about money, but to me is again a decision, and decision is when you have success. And the last 3 tournaments, the money you made is almost equal to 17 to 18 World Cup if you have to win in 1 year, which is not possible. So there are many people are in the billiard world are jealous in real life. You know what I mean? People, they don't want you to have this, to be successful. But in my opinion, I see you in a positive way. You still, a lot of people loves you the way you play. We wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, at 6 o'clock in the morning to watch a game of Frederic Caudron. You know, and it's and overall, I'm not anti UMB or anything. I'm with the game, but I see how the sport is changing quickly, and I see young people all over the world. You know, in Korea, like all I see is young people. You know, I don't want to criticize the rest of the world. I'm just talking about my view. And what you did is what happened to football to Maradona when he went to Napoli. People treat him like God, and you're a billiard god for many people. Okay, you don't know it, you know it, you have a feeling, but all over the world you have a big respect, and we support you. Just to even for the people who's gonna hear about this conversation, they should know a little bit about the history.
Just want to say something also. I'm not here to criticize, just talking positively. The game here in Korea, you know, PBA rules are a little bit different. You can like, you don't like, or you like, it's just a rule. Like we start in the normal game UMB, you put a position. Is it the right position to start? Maybe yes, maybe no. We play like this for 50 years, 30 years, 100 years. I don't know when they started. So PBA decided to make a different break shot. And believe me, my opinion, when you have to start a game and you draw the card to have the position, you don't know which position. They are good position, they are bad position. And all positions are a little bit sensitive to keys or so you don't know if it's, of course, it's advantage to start in the game, but when you play sets, you play always 1 inning more, but you can start sometime with a very difficult bank shot or something. Also, the rule of the 2 points for a bank shot, people say this is a very stupid rule, the best or the worst rule you can imagine. But I can tell you, there are many people in Korea here, they play bank shot so good, whatever bank shot, 3 bang, 2 bang, 1 bang, they are unbelievable. So when you come against Korean player, I met still Korean players coming from the 2nd division here, from the Dream Tour, and I play first game against them, and believe me, if you are not 100%, they can kill you very easily. So that's why also you see many players. It happens. Zapata lost in the first game. Now the last tour, Cho Jae-ho, who is one of the best players in the world, also lost the first game many times. You cannot imagine how it seems. People say, yeah, it's easy for me to win tournaments here, but I can tell you this is not easy. And also, why do I win the last 3 tournaments? Because I want to fight every game to win.
Sure.
So I don't have the reputation of being a fighter or special, nothing special. I'm a talented. Normally people think about me as a talented, and but I have a really, really strong mentality, because, you know, sometimes I told you the last tournament I won here, I play very bad. My feeling was 0-0, but still, how I win, because just I think to myself, okay, just go and fight and change something in your game. When you feel bad, I play faster. I try to make different and thinking different, and say, okay, go, and I could manage to win the 3rd tournament, which was very unexpected for me, believe me. So
I don't mean to interrupt, Fred, but here's what's gonna happen. Unfortunately, we have a 40-minute window. And right now we're at 45. So at some point, they're gonna cut us off. So I just want to, again, thank all of you to participate in this conversation. I wish we had more time, and we can continue as long as they cut us off. So, but I'm saying, just to let you know.
well, Steve,
One more question.
maybe you have the possibility to make another one because this seemed very short meeting. If you have another opportunity, why not? Why make another one?
I
Yeah,
haven't even said anything.
what's that?
I haven't even said anything. and
Well,
we're
you know
already
what,
done.
Ricky? Then you're on the spot, dude. We're gonna leave.
I have
it-
I have a question for Fred because he's the one that has the more of a inside information about what's happening between the PBA and the UMB. And my question is pretty simple. How likely, from 0 being impossible to 10 being very possible, how likely is it that the UMB and the PBA will reach an agreement in the near future to where you are going to be able to play the World Cups and the World Championships and everything else?
I have no information because people think many times that I'm a little bit involved, but I know absolutely nothing. But my honest opinion, I think the chance is 0 at the moment because it's it's pure business from both sides. I know UMB is not a commercial entity, but it's they have commercial partners. They have I will not call them, but whatever. They have partners which are commercial entities. So it's about money anyway. And there was 2 years ago in Blankenberg, there has been a meeting between both of them. And they came out of the meeting and they said, we have an agreement. PBE said they have an agreement. And after this, the agreement was cancelled, as I know, by the UMB for some money reason, of course. Whatever the story, it's a long story. But at the moment, I think there is no reason to believe there will be an agreement. It's a pity, of course, but it's like this. And it's about money and also about control. UMB like to control everything, and you cannot do anything without consentment or authorization. So it's just about that, money and control, I believe. And control because of the money.
Well, and to add something about it's about the money. Wouldn't the concept of having a PBA versus UMB against each other, that would be like in the States, we have the Mosconi Cup where it's Europe against the United States in pool. I'm wondering if that concept would work, especially financially, for the the PBA and the UMB having a tournament against each other. Thoughts?
It should be possible, but I don't know. I don't feel really, about, you told me you have talked to some players which don't want to hear anything about PBA, Actually, I don't know. I don't care. I have no, I don't know what to say about that because really many of them, some of them, not many, I'm wrong, don't want to know nothing except, of course, if it's UMB related and if there is money, because it's all about,
It
Yes.
seems like a good idea for spectators to have an event like that, but I think for the future of billiards, it would not be a good idea because it just makes it seem that, there's no reconciling the PBA and the UMB. If you do a tournament like that, playing them against each other, that means they'll never come together. They're just on separate sides. So I don't think that's good for billiards.
Well, it may not be, but in hearing from Fred, it sounds like the reconciliation is slim to none. Nobody seems to be moving in a direction as a compromise. So if that's the case, and they're never going to compromise, you might as well go at it and have a big tournament for the fans. I don't know. It's just a thought.
I think,
No, I understand. Go ahead.
yes, sorry. I think my opinion at the moment, PBA doesn't need UMB at all. They have television, 4 or 5 national channels transmitting live games. If they have all the best player or not doesn't make any difference, because all the Korean players are very important here, and all of them are getting better and better. Only UMB could use the money of the PBA, but I don't believe PBA will accept to give money if there is no compensation. I don't know exactly what is going on now. If there are talks, I don't think so, and I don't know. I'm not sure the PBA at the moment, because they try already. Because of course, when you read some things, you could think PBA always refused, but believe me, the other side refused many more times than PBA to come together, and they refuse and put many conditions which are not acceptable. So to come back to the topic, I don't think there will be. There are no talks and no agreement. I don't believe it.
Well, can we agree to have a 2.0 meeting, since this was short? And I mean, gosh, there's a lot of more conversation we can have. If you're interested, we can at some point in the future have another conversation, and whether we want to have a specific topic or we want it to be open conversation like we have now. Either thing works for me. So, what are your thoughts?
Of course, anytime.
Jump in.
At the time, and you put Ricky to speak first, okay?
Yeah, Ricky, in the next one, you're in charge. You ask the questions. You're gonna.
That's good for me.
We
That's
should
good to
have
me.
part B. We should have part B for the.
All right.
Yes, I think so. I
We'll
think
call
so.
it part B. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get together, and everyone stay safe. Thanks for your time. I really enjoyed having the conversation. I'll obviously take the recording, convert it to a YouTube easy kind of thing. So, and then Fred mentioned that he'd put it on his Facebook page. I'll certainly put it on mine. And with his exposure, we should get a lot of views, and hopefully it's been enjoyable for people to listen to it. So thanks again, guys, and have a nice rest of your weekend. And
Thank you so much.
Great.
And a good week.
Great talking to you all, guys.
Thank you, guys. Nice to see you again. Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was
All
good to
right.
see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chad.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Steve.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.